Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
The Philadelphia 76ers suffer a brutal defeat to the Atlanta Hawks in Game 7 by a final score of 103-96. The Sixers lose the series 4-3, are yet again bounced in the second round. The process is essentially over. There are big changes coming, and man, oh man, is it embarrassing right now to be a Sixers fan. What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome on into Philly Take with RB. You know what to do. Smash the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you are instantly notified whenever I upload or go live. We've been covering every single Sixers game live here in the playoffs. We've covered almost every single Sixers game live this season, and we've been covering the entire playoffs with post games and all that stuff. And it will continue in terms of the offseason draft, trades, free agency, all that good stuff. And with the first full season of doing these Sixers streams and all this other content coming to an end, I just wanted to thank you all for continually coming in here and, you know, appreciating what I do and supporting the vision and just showing your support in numerous ways. So thank you all, and I really appreciate you, and I can't wait to see, you know, what the future holds. But I was getting ready to go to bed. The game ended a couple hours ago. I got off my live stream, but I just felt I had to do this before I go to sleep. You'll probably see this in the morning when things are more cooled down, I guess. But after Game 5 was more of the angry scene. It was more of getting overly pissed off and everybody just burning things to the ground and getting mad. Now it's a different feeling. It's more so just devastation, emptiness, right? The Sixers fall for a third game in this series at home in front of the Wells Fargo. We collapse again. We lose this game. And yet again, we're bounced in the second round. The process is over. It is over. All the years we tanked, all the years that we built everything up, the core that we collected, it just is not going to work. It's over for many reasons, and big changes are coming this offseason. And in a way, I'm glad that the series is over because, to be quite honest, it has taken a toll on us. It has taken a toll on me. I've never been through such a roller coaster ride of a series like this one. I promise you. From getting smacked in the face in Game 1 to recollecting our composure, you know, to choking two big leads and then winning Game 6 and feeling like we had it and had the momentum, and then to just collapse in Game 7 once again. I can't believe the Sixers lost this game. Trae Young played pitiful, okay? And before I go into this, I'm not even going to analyze the game this much, but, you know, shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. Much respect and much credit to them. They played hungry. They're a young, gritty team, but they played, over the top of their expectations. This seems to be a weird year in the NBA. There's a lot of underdogs and a lot of teams that you really didn't expect to make it are making it. A lot of young star players, and I got to give credit to the Atlanta Hawks. They came out and they took care of business. They did their thing. Trae Young balled this series. Some of the other guys stepped up. Bogdanovich, Herter, Gallinari. It's just crazy, man. Trae Young played terrible tonight. He really didn't deserve to win this game. 21 points, but 5 for 23 from the field. 2 for 11 from deep. The Hawks as a team shot 26% from 3. They shot 75% from the line. They were so sloppy. We were sloppy. Everything was sloppy. And the Sixers still give them the opportunity to win this game. Kevin Herter with 27, 10 for 18 from the field. Collins with 14. Things got chippy. Capella gave 13. Gallinari with 17 off the bench. This guy seems like every game this series he was cooking us off the bench. But overall, the Hawks made it count down late game possessions. They executed, and I predicted that this game would be tight and gritty, and I predicted that down the stretch the Sixers would improve from 2 years ago when we were in brutal heartbreak, and I thought we would learn and get better down the stretch in this game, but it was the opposite. The Sixers did not convert. And, after such a sloppy performance from both teams in this game, it was tied up with 3 minutes to go. And the Sixers just made the rookie mistakes, whether it's Matisse Thybulle, getting a foul on Kevin Herter, whether it was Ben Simmons driving to the basket and throwing it out when he had a dunk, whether it was Embiid getting plucked by Gallon. It all came burning down, and the Sixers suffer, defeat. I can go through each player. Joel Embiid, thank you so much for leaving everything out on the line. Joel didn't even play that well, and in my opinion, and he still had 31 points, 11 for 21 from the field, 7 for 10 from the line. Missed 3 early, but got better. 11 rebounds, but he had 8 turnovers. Joel Embiid can't have 8 turnovers. One thing I noticed that I have preached the last couple games, he was too complacent, and it seemed like we weren't getting him down low. And I think a lot started to set in with that injury. He wasn't driving the same way. He wasn't putting the ball on the floor the same way. He just did not look the same. And, he was operating from the high post, man. Like, he was operating from literally the top of the key, and he would not get down low. He started too late in the third and the fourth quarter, but by then it was too late. But thank you, Joel Embiid, for a great MVP season. I know he feels he let us down, but you're a champ, man, and we appreciate you. We love you, and I feel genuinely bad for Joel Embiid that he had to go out that way. It's not fair to him at all. He did not have enough help. Seth Curry had 16 points in this, 6 for 10 from the field. I knew Seth Curry wasn't going to be able to continue 20, 25 points a game, and I knew this. He's not a star. He's a great role player. I'm proud of how Seth played in this series, but it wasn't going to continue. Got in foul trouble early. It costed him. But, Seth Curry had a great series, and I have to give him at least credit for, trying tonight, did what he could. Hit a couple big shots, but it just, wasn't enough. Tobias Harris gave us 24 points, but on 8 for 24 from the field, 2 for 7 from deep, 14 rebounds out of Tobias, 4 assists and 2 steals. Tobias Harris had a great season. He did what he could. He improved. He had one of his best seasons. But at the end of the day, Tobias Harris in 2 of the biggest games did not show up. And let's be real, in terms of Tobias Harris, do we really expect him to be a max player? No, we don't. But he played above his expectations this year. He just could not show up. And in 45 minutes, even though he didn't play well tonight, I'll give Tobias credit for at least going out trying. You know what I mean? Tobias went out. He kept shooting the ball. He kept trying to get to his spots. It just wasn't falling. It just wasn't good. But at least he went out, with everything on the line. He tried. 24 shot attempts. He only made 8, but he tried. I can't be terribly mad at Tobias Harris. I can't. He had a great year. Don't know if he'll be back next year. We'll see. Furkan was, bad, but he's just inconsistent. Tyrese Maxey, I thought, was not aggressive at all. I don't know why we didn't have the ball operating in his hands. I don't know why he kept passing it off. 0 for 2 from the field in 14 minutes. I think Tyrese has star potential. I really liked what I saw from him this year and in some of these big games, last game. But, I just don't get why we didn't run through him at all. Matisse Thybulle was 3 for 5 off the bench, hit a 3. Had a nice steal. He was coming up big with some of these defensive stops, and we were using him late. But, Matisse Thybulle's going to have to, continue to work on his offensive game. I love the kid's defense. He's going to have to keep improving. Shake Milton came in late and cold, didn't really do anything. Dwight Howard was negative, and that's pretty much where we sat. You notice I didn't mention Ben Simmons. We'll get to him in 1 second. But Doc Rivers, I don't think Doc Rivers had the best game. And now I understand fully why his resume is flawed. I understand, why Doc is known as a choke artist. He choked again. He did. There's numerous games in this series we should have won. It should not have come down to this. But in the biggest game of the year, Game 7, you're running lineups of Ben and Dwight. You're running Ben and Matisse. I think there was even one time it was Ben, Matisse, and Dwight. It made absolutely no sense. And again, you had your big man playing up top. I just didn't like the way the offense ran, and it was so sloppy. I can't really attribute that to Doc Rivers. But you got to make adjustments, man. You got to get something going. You got to provide the spark. You throw Shake Milton late in the game when he's cold. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And I said this was a worry of mine. We don't know the version of Doc that we are going to get. And for a Sixers team that literally outdid the Hawks in every category, and we don't win this game, it was so sloppy. The Hawks were so bad in this, and we were the same way. We didn't take a chance to go out and get it done. And I think Doc Rivers did good things for multiple players on this team this year, but the one player, Ben Simmons, and in this series, choking those leads is just inexcusable. Doc Rivers may be fired for this. It may be a fireable offense. In my opinion, I originally thought that Doc may even step away because he didn't really want to come here until he was presented with the opportunity late after he got fired. He even said he thought about taking off a year of coaching, but this may be a fireable offense. You can't lose in a second round. And the previous years, right, whether it's the Boston Celtics, the Raptors, we were the underdogs, right? And finally, we get to the second round, and everybody's talking about an easy path. We were the favorites, right? And you come out, choke a couple games like that, and you just give this series away. And he was just too stubborn in his way some of these games. This may be a fireable offense. I don't know if he's going to get fired or not, but let's just say I wouldn't be shocked either way, because he did come in. He did set the mentality and shift the culture a bit. But some of the things he did are just, they signal they're warnings for the future. And choking this series once again in the second round, coming back home in front of the Wells Fargo, it's just disappointing, man. It's just disappointing. Doc Rivers did not have his best series, and we know that. Lastly, Ben Simmons. For all the content we've done on YouTube so far in my young YouTube life, ever since he got drafted, even before I was on YouTube, Ben Simmons, I've never been this disappointed. We lost this series mainly because of Doc and Ben. Ben Simmons more so, though. I just don't get it. I don't get it. For a man that I've defended for years, I really didn't think it would be, that terrible for me to defend this man in previous years, because given the fact of how good he was at other parts of the game, given the fact he was 6'10", he had all the attributes to be great. He stood up here and literally had to work on one thing, even trolled us by putting up YouTube videos, Instagram clips, Instagram posts and all that. And in fact, not only did Doc Rivers defend it this year and make it seem okay, but Ben Simmons went out once again with no pride. He's a loser. He never deserves to put on the Philly uniform again. And the fact he goes out once again with 4 shot attempts, 2 for 4 in this game, 5 points. You can talk to me about the 8 rebounds, the 13 assists. I really don't care, okay? He had 8 assists in the first half, and we had 4 3-pointers as a team. He was getting little dump offs, right? Drawing men in, dumping it down low. Some of them weren't quality assists, but it doesn't matter. You got to be more aggressive. We've been screaming it all year. This was the first year I started to go downhill and question why Ben is like this. But in reality, overall, he's mentally soft. He's not made for Philadelphia. He's going to end up being a role player, and he is why the process has failed. As a number 1 overall pick, he will turn into a role player in his career. Now, maybe he'll go somewhere else, and maybe finally a coach will light something under him to get him going. But to shoot 30% from the line in this series, even his defense got progressively worse as we went on in this series. He did okay today. Trey was still missing shots, but to just not be aggressive, to look yourself in the face and look Joel in the face. And for years that we talked about this duo being one of the best young duos in the league, and to just literally crawl up in a ball, come down past half court, dump off the ball and run to the dunker spot, and just, you're not a star, Ben Simmons. You're not. You honestly, I don't even think Ben's that good of a player overall. When you take into the defense, take into account defense, rebound, I don't think he's that good of a player. And his flaws, his inabilities, everything else, the way Doc coaches, the way other players play, the way, we have to go 4-on-5 every time down the floor, everything leading up leads back to that one flaw. And this season, we weren't even worried about the jump shot. That's how bad it got, and people still tried to defend it. And you know what? He wasn't even aggressive. He even had a decent series in the first round. Like, he was aggressive. He gave us 15 points. What happened in this series? And you know what the craziest part is? In previous years, you know, this is the third time Ben's gotten exposed in his third playoffs. But against Boston and Toronto, you know what happened? The opposing coaches made adjustments, whether it was creating the wall, putting more pressure. They forced Ben Simmons out of his way in previous years. You know what's even crazier? This year, that didn't happen. The Hawks literally left him wide open. They had mismatches on him. He did it to himself this time, and that's why I'm officially done. He showed us time and time again this year for certain stretches, certain spouts, certain games. You know, he could do it. 42 against the Jazz, you know, being aggressive, 28 one game, I think. Triple doubles, right? He, you know, when it was meaningless, he would knock down a big three-pointer. He showed us he could do it. But he didn't. He chose not to. That's why I'm not that mad at Tobias Harris. At least he went out fighting. At least he went out trying. Ben Simmons did not try in this series. He took himself out of it, and he literally bowed down and said, okay, Atlanta Hawks, you got me. I'm not going to work on my offensive game. He's out there pregame shooting little one-footed floaters, and it's just embarrassing. He does nothing on offense, and 4-on-5 every time down the floor. You've gone from my favorite player to my least favorite, Ben. I can't wait to see you get traded. You'll never play again in Philadelphia, and you're just an absolute disgrace to this team. I'm sorry. You're to this franchise. You continuously troll us. You don't care, and your flaw has created many more problems in this series and was a big reason why we lost this year. And it's kind of good that this happened because finally we can break it up. Everybody in Philadelphia, even the reporters, even Shaq I was watching a little while ago, he's sick of Ben. Everybody is sick of Ben, and it's finally been recognized how this guy has played so soft. It took me the last 4 years to come to this point. This year I started to go downhill, and in Game 5 I hit my breaking point, and now I'm just ready to pack your bags. You're gone, Ben Simmons. You weren't the only reason we lost this game tonight, but I feel like it was intentional. Like, to go out and shoot the ball 4 times again after the other game, after you said I have to continue to be aggressive, after you said I have to stay, even last game when you didn't do anything, you said I want to stay aggressive and stay assertive. You're an absolute joke, Ben Simmons. And you're gone. You're gone. And you should never come back to Philadelphia. With that being said, the process has failed. Ben Simmons as a number 1 overall pick is a bust. Time to get something new in here. A lot of changes are going to come. We're going to see a roster overhaul. And just to lose in the second round of this Hawks team, again, congratulations to them. But an absolute embarrassment. This series, we are going to think back of multiple games, multiple opportunities where it felt like literally the Hawks were done. And we fed it to them. We let them right back in this series. Sixers drop Game 7. We lose the series. Once again, another second-round exit. And, you know, the changes will come in the future. I just had to get this off my chest before I went to sleep. Once again, thank you all for being great supporters this season. It was such a fun season. We're going to continue to keep up the content. You know, be sure to look out for everything. And just thank you all for supporting. That being said, last post game of the year, we are signing off. Thank you all. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have a great night, and I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.